The Sports Buds have reunited. It's week 16 NFL show. Joining us as always, we have Nick Kerr, Chris Billings, myself, Tony Reyes, hosting the show. Let's go ahead and start with Nick. How are you doing, Nick?
Doing good. Had a little bit of a layoff. Took a little bit of a vacation. Had to catch up on some work.
All good, all
Glad to
good.
be back though.
Happy to have you back. What about yourself, Chris? How are you doing over there in the Northern Lights?
Continuing my football vacation here in the North Pole with jolly Saint Nick. Yeah, so happy holidays to all. Merry
Yes.
Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa.
Yes, it is the season. Happy holidays to all. I've been doing much better. We'll get into that right now. I'll ask you guys first. Let's go with Nick. What was your takeaways on this Cowboys collapse in Jacksonville on Sunday?
I mean it was very unexpected, but this Jags team starting to come together. You've been showing us all week that Trevor Lawrence, last 6 games, he's been playing up there with some of the best quarterbacks in the league.
It does look like he's having that second year breakout that a lot of young quarterbacks have. Unfortunately, my Cowboys were the victims of that breakout.
Yes.
What were your takeaways, Chris?
Tony being high on the Jags, Dallas collapsing in December, collision course. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like I wasn't surprised by it. That's why I laughed when Nick said that. It's just Dallas's MO in December. Yes, they clinched a playoff berth, but man, they gotta stop having games like these. Like look at the Eagles. Look at the Eagles. Like they're not having games like this. And you almost you gotta give some credit to the Vikings. They managed to overcome what happened with the Colts and some of their other games. We laugh at them and say they're a phony team, but I'm sorry, Dallas. You need to have you can't have these types of games, especially this late in the year.
I would agree with that.
I mean, Kansas City's had a few of these games recently as well. The only difference is they came out on top. It was the Jags one of those games, or was it was the Texans that gave Kansas City a run, but they came out on
Texans.
top.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, even you could even say the Broncos gave them a run. Kansas notoriously plays down to their competition, but they win those games. They win those games. And you guys you left Dallas on the hook for way too long in that game.
I don't know, man. It's been about a month since that defense has really looked good. They've been surviving those games. They stole that one against the Texans in overtime a couple weeks ago. Then they didn't look too good for most of the game against the Colts and had a big fourth quarter. But man, it's too many injuries, and then that defense just getting sliced up, man. Just giving up points easy, quickly. Just not a good look. Not a good look for them at all. Worst time.
That's the only excuse I'll give Dallas is they're in the bottom half of the league in terms of just injuries occurring on the team. So they do have a lot going on there, but considering the players that they do have out there, shouldn't be losing the Jags.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Definitely.
Heading into a playoff run.
Yep, I would agree with you. Not a good look. Not a good look. I don't.
Then again, this is sometimes the wake up call for teams that they see oh yeah, we shit the bed here, and then they do make a playoff run. So
it's better happen now than a few weeks from now.
Yeah, you hope that this wakes the team up, but knowing the Dallas team that I've seen over the years, I expect another low from them imminently.
We'll see. We'll see. They definitely have been struggling. I don't understand why they call offensive plays the way they do. Just make it so difficult for Dak to be successful. It's just like night and day from what they did with Cooper Rush to what they do for him. It's just tough, man. Tough for him to be successful. I mean, they can't even run a screen pass. I mean, I haven't seen that all season, and that should be like a staple of like every offense for like easy yards. And they have good players, and they can't even run screen passes. So be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't know how they bounce back. We'll see if they can get it together here. Moving forward here in this NFC, got this Jalen Hurts injury, shaking things up.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this injury, Nick?
I mean, it definitely shakes things up because with the way that Philly has been playing all year on both offense and defense, coming into this game against Dallas, that they would be favored. With the injury, you see that Dallas has a 6-point favorite at home. It's definitely shaking things up for this game and for the NFC in total, because now this opens a lane for the Niners to just jump in.
I agree. Chris?
We'll have to say.
I don't really see it shaking up anything in the NFC at this point. Like, I think the Eagles, like, they've got the #1 seed pretty well locked up. They've got the division locked up, so you don't really need Hurts at this moment. Get them ready for the playoffs. So I don't see this shakeup really.
Do you think he could just rest for a month and then just show up in the playoffs and be like,
It usually doesn't
There will
work
be some
out.
rust.
yeah, yeah.
It
There will be
usually
some
doesn't
rust.
work out. Any
Yeah,
any team that rests for a playoff game, like, it usually doesn't work out for you.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see how long he is out. That I don't know. I think that does change things. They do still have to win a game to clinch the 1 seed, I
Yeah,
think.
because even if they do take the 1 seed, so if he misses the next 3 weeks, that's another week off. So he'll be off a total of what, 4 or 5 weeks
Yeah.
before playing another snap.
That'll be tough. I think that will open the door for the Vikings to possibly get the 1 seed, or even the Niners to go ahead and get that 1 seed. Be close. Be close.
I don't think so. I think the Eagles will still easily get it.
Yeah.
They could. They do have a solid squad. We'll see what's going on here. Let's move forward to Knicks, Dolphins, Bills Snow battle. Get some takeaways from that game.
I mean, I was disappointed in the loss, but the Dolphins did show what I think a lot of the media needed to see, that they can play in cold weather games. Because if they do make it into the playoffs, which I still believe they will, chances are they're playing on the road in a cold weather game. So for them to go up to Buffalo, we all saw the pictures of the snow that was in the stadium beforehand. It was actually, obviously, it was a cold night, but the snow stayed out until the fourth quarter. And the Dolphins were able to battle with the Bills, which the Bills look like the best team in the AFC right now. So I'll take it. Split the division, or split the series with the Bills. Each team won at home. Josh Allen thinks they'll meet again. Not going to doubt him on that.
Billings?
I think that these teams could very well meet a third time. But yeah, like the Dolphins, honestly, like, I think most fans walk away with an optimistic feeling from that game, because really, like, you're able to make adjustments from the week before, like you're able to play in the cold weather. The only thing that, like, kind of was just like, was once that snow hit in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, it was like the Bills turned it on and they were able to pass. And the Dolphins kind of just got a little too conservative there. Hopefully Mike McDaniel learns from that. But yeah, I would say Dolphins, possibly a team like that you don't want to face in the AFC playoffs right now.
Yeah, I would have liked to see McDaniel run the ball a little bit more in the second half, because he had so much success with Mostert in the first.
Yep.
Especially on a couple of those third and short plays, rather than passing the ball.
That is what I was going to say. The run game looked unstoppable. I don't know why they went away from it as much as they did. It seemed like they were consistently just like moving the chains, and Mostert, like you said, was like breaking off big runs, and then I was just like, wow, man, this Bills team, they're just not ready for this. They're vulnerable to the run, and I was not expecting Mostert to have that good of a game. I was pretty impressed with that run game. It's a good performance all around, and that defense was ready.
Honestly, that was both teams. Once they found the right combination for the run game, like it looked unstoppable, and people just did not want to take those hits in that cold weather. So
Agree. Moving into this playoff picture, chaos that I have written down here for the AFC. I guess we can tie this into the power rankings a little bit. Nick said he thinks the Bills are the best team in the AFC. Do you agree, Chris?
No.
Billings? Who is the best team in the AFC?
I still think it's the Chiefs.
Wow.
I still think the playoffs, the Chiefs go to Buffalo. Buffalo goes to Kansas City. Chiefs walk away winning.
I mean, it's basically playing in the same atmosphere.
Yeah.
Fair. I don't understand why the Bengals keep getting slept on. That is who I think the best team in the AFC is right now. Dangerous team. Dangerous.
Definitely the best team in the AFC North.
That is true. Let's get into the power rankings here, because this was interesting to me. I'll let Nick go through his first 5. Go ahead.
At 5, I got the Bengals, which I do believe they're the best team in the AFC North. I got the Chiefs at number 4. I got the Niners at 3. The Bills at 2. And the Eagles at 1. Strictly because if I went on Chris's, I think I'd have the Bills at number 1, because with Jalen Hurts hurt right now, the Bills definitely take that. But based on the Eagles' record, I'm still going to keep them at 1.
That's fair. Chris, go through yours.
I had the Bengals at 5, Niners at 4, Bills at 3, Chiefs at 2, Eagles at 1. Like I still think the Eagles get the number 1 seed overall. Jalen Hurts comes back, playoff game. Still going to be a tough out for whoever that team is that has to face them. And then the Chiefs, like I said, I think they beat the Bills either on the road or at home.
Let's see. I went.
Then the Niners we'll talk about later, because you owe me an apology there.
I don't know if I owe you an apology. I think I owe Brock Purdy an apology. So I have Chiefs at 5, Niners 4, Bills at 3, Bengals at 2, and Eagles at 1. Interesting to me that we all do have the Eagles at 1 with this injury in place. We'll see how long that lingers and what happens with it. Let's get into these week 15 results.
I think it's going to be like he's going to beat expectations in terms of rehabbing from this injury. Then everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, he's out there like running with the offense and doing drills and blah, blah, blah. And we'll hear all this over the coming weeks. And I think he'll be like ready to go.
Heard something funny today, because Jalen Hurts is not going to play this week. But do you know who is going to play this week? Nick Foles.
Yep.
So imagine if he was the Eagles' backup. I think that they could keep the number 1 seed. I think, but it's not. So, but I thought that was funny.
Things are going to get interesting in that NFC. I'm telling you, things are about to get shooken up. We'll see what happens. Man, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild here at the end of these last 3 weeks. I got a feeling some chaos is going to happen. Let's get into these week 15 results. We're struggling, man. We're struggling. Me and Nick tied 8-8.
Yeah.
Right there, 7-9. Struggling to keep that 50% goal here. Look at this, dropping me down for the season.
We're all just falling.
Yeah, we just keep falling every week.
I think it was after last week.
Yeah, you did better than last week.
Tony won it at 5 wins.
Yeah, It's wow, man. It's wild. We're struggling here. We're trying to keep it together.
Yep. It's a long season.
It is. It is a long season. What was this? Got me down to 52.7%. Nick 48%. Chris at 43.5%. Yeah, man.
It's ugly.
It is ugly. And hopefully, maybe something happens. Like I said, these last 3 weeks, we get something to mix it up.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens here.
8 games under right now. I got 3 weeks to try to get back up to 500.
You still got time. Some goals. Chris, any goals?
No, I'm done. I'm cooked.
All right. Speaking of cooked, let's talk about this Jets team here. How did they lose that game to the Lions last week, Chris? How? How did they lose that game? How'd they lose that game? Tell me how they lost that game.
So we picked against the Lions. We knew it was gonna happen. Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That was gonna happen. I didn't know. I had faith. I was wrong. Nick,
The Lions team is good. They may make the playoffs.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's some of that NFC chaos I was referring to. The Lions getting that 7th seed. That would be insane. Started 1-6. I tried to fire Dan Campbell like 3 weeks in a row. Shows what I know. I'm
pretty sure you tried to fire him before Matt Rule.
Yes.
Matt Rule already has a different job.
That's right. While his team is in playoff contention. All right, let's get to this Thursday night game. We got the Jets at home, 1-point underdog to the Jags. Looks like we're all in agreement on this. Tell me why you're backing the Jags, Nick.
I think it's like what we talked about before. It's Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he'll be missing his left tackle, but he seemed to do fine without him second half of the game. So I still not buying this Jets team, especially with Zach Wilson. It's just not pretty. They have a great defense, and they probably will get after Trevor Lawrence, but I see this Jags team on a roll.
Chris?
Nick's right. Zach Wilson ain't Purdy. Yeah, with Zach Wilson starting, like, you have to take the Jags. Jags are on a roll the last month, so easy pick.
Yeah.
Which means the Jets will most likely win.
Yeah.
Wilson stinks, man. Good Lord, is he bad. And they had some opportunities at the end of that game. And, of course, they just got mismanaged.
Is Flacco back to being the backup for him, or who's the backup?
I think it probably is.
Maybe they come in, win this game.
All right. Look at this. We have a wild week here. Most of the games are on Saturday here. We only got a couple here on Sunday. So it's going to be Saturday football for us here. My Falcons, the team that I ride or die with here on the road. 7.5-point underdogs against the Ravens. Again, another game we're all in agreement on. Tell me why you're taking the Falcons, Chris.
I learned my lesson last week. I don't know who's gonna be the quarterback for the Ravens. I'm not gonna pick them, especially with 7.5 points.
Yeah.
Nick?
No, I agree. That Ravens offense isn't very good without Lamar Jackson. And even the last few weeks that he played, they weren't very good anyways. 7.5 points is way too much.
Yep, I agree. Weird line.
He gone. Lamar Jackson's no longer a Raven. That's what I know from this season.
Looking like it. It's looking like it. Okay, we were mentioning them. Billings' favorite team, the Lions here. On the road. Road favorites, 2.5 points against the Panthers. Chris is the only one picking the Panthers. Tell us why.
Because I have integrity. That's why.
Uh,
I owe it to the audience. No, not picking the Lions anymore this season. Best of luck to the Cardiac Cats. I'm not talking about the Panthers.
Nick, why are you backing the Lions?
I mean, I'm following that same trend. Chris keeps picking against the Lions, so I just keep picking them.
1-6 to 6-1 in the
Yeah.
last 7. It's insane. They're
Yeah.
definition of a streaky team.
Yep.
We did have some
And I
disagreements.
guarantee I've gotten all of those games wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
I don't know because that Bills Lions line might have been further than the final score.
That's true. That is true.
I probably still got it wrong.
Yep. That's what I mean. You probably lost the last 7.
We had some disagreement last episode about Jared Goff. I want to hear what Nick's thoughts are on Jared Goff. Do you think he's the quarterback for the Lions next season?
I mean, probably not.
Okay.
He has played well, but he's
What are
I
they
don't-
gonna draft one though?
I don't know. There's going to be quarterbacks out there. Who knows? Maybe they go after Lamar. They probably got
One
money. They
that
definitely
one that
got
would
picks.
willingly sign with the Detroit Lions.
Well, 1-6 to 6-1. That division isn't what it used to be. The Bears and the Packers suck.
Like
You only gotta
maybe,
worry about the
maybe if
Vikings, and
Aaron
that's
Rodgers
Kirk Cousins.
retires,
Just
do
get him
I
in prime
consider
time.
signing with the Lions?
I don't know. Maybe you heard it here first. I don't know.
Heard it there first. I don't know. I kind of agree with you, Nick. I don't know if Jared Goff's going to be the guy for them.
Yeah.
He feels awfully replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
I think this guy over here, let's see, Billings, he's over here like hyping up Brock Purdy. I think that kind of like shows that like maybe just like a backup quarterback would probably give you the same production that Jared Goff is giving you, just like a backup quarterback's doing in San Francisco. I mean, it's kind of what we've seen. You had some hesitation when you were like, is he better than Taylor Heineke? Who's a backup quarterback in the league? Pretty similar. I'm not seeing like a big decline there in the production from those players.
Do you want to know the treatment that Jared Goff's getting, Nick? He's getting the Tannehill treatment right now. Where it's like
The Dolphins Tannehill treatment or the Tennessee Tannehill treatment?
This is good.
it's Dolphins, where he's above average. He's an above average
Yeah.
QB.
Is he?
Yes.
I don't know about
I mean, that city just tries to hang on to anything that it can, though.
Who do you think the Rams would rather have right now? Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff?
Probably Jared Goff.
that. I'd agree. Jared Goff.
Saying, I don't want to be like some Jared Goff hype man over here, but like give the man some credit. Like he went from taking a team in sunny LA to the Super Bowl and then getting shipped off and to the Detroit Lions of all teams, and like he's done pretty modest so far.
Mhm.
So
That is true. He has done his job.
Yeah. That team does put up a lot of points. They have, even when they were losing.
Yep, they do have a pretty good offense. Speaking of good offenses, let's move off of this to this Kansas City Chiefs game here. 9.5-point favorites, Seahawks. All of us in agreement on this one, taking the Seahawks. That's just way too many points, right? Like, what is happening with this line? I don't understand it.
Yeah, the Chiefs haven't been dominating teams right now.
No.
So I agree. That's too many points.
too many
Chris?
points. Yeah.
Chiefs will still win this, but
Yeah,
probably by a touchdown.
I agree. I just didn't understand that. Looked weird. What do we got here? Oof, this is a bad game here.
Yeah.
Saints Browns. Before we get into this game, I saw this over under 32 points for the line for over under. like the lowest over-under I've seen in years. 32 points. I honestly don't know if I would take the under or the over in that. These teams stink.
Yeah.
Browns, 3-point favorite at home. Why are you picking the Browns, Nick?
Because I don't know. The
He had to pick
I think-
someone.
I had to pick someone. I mean, the Browns are at home. The Saints are a dome team. They got to travel up to Cleveland in the cold. I mean, I guess that could buy them 3 points.
Fair. Billings.
Watson's still working shit out. I don't know.
Yeah, most likely gonna be like single digit temps.
Yeah.
That Browns running game will most likely just carry them throughout the game.
Mhm.
Deshaun Watson seems to be getting better and better with each game. Although we'll say looks like a complete douche out there.
Yep.
Um
Don't deny that.
Agreed.
so yeah, hate to pick the Browns, but it's the Browns.
Yeah. Got some of the same reasons why I picked the Browns. Oh, God, Deshaun Watson looks like crap. He does look bad.
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, you stink. You forgot
Yeah.
how to play.
He you know, like in terms of body language, who he looks like Russell Wilson out there.
Oh man. Better days. Better days. Speaking of better days here. What is this game? Texans, Titans. Titans favored by 7 at home. I'm on my
Yeah.
lonely island picking the
Yeah.
Texans. Nick's breaking news to us about Tannehill.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Tannehill was going to play in this game when I picked the Titans, but I'll stick with them. That Texans team has looked better as of late, though.
Billings, same.
I'm gonna keep my pick. I think Derrick Henry's gonna wear
Yeah.
out that Texans defense, and that's pretty much the best thing going for them.
Yep.
Push. That line looks like a push
Could
to me.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Okay. This was a rat line. Let's take a look at this rat line. I looked at it for a minute. Patriots at home against the Bengals. 3.5-point underdogs. That fancy hook always there to make things fun. Chris on his lonely island picking the Patriots. Tell me why you're picking the Patriots after that game last week.
It's because that half point. At half point, Bengals like they're only gonna win by a field goal.
Nick, what do
I
you
could
got?
see that. I could see that. But there's something going on in this Patriots locker room right now. They're not happy with Mac Jones at quarterback. Patriots at home, though, it was pushy just because that half points. But I think the Bengals end up winning this by a touchdown.
Patriots suck. They're not good. I've seen that team too many times. They're not good. The offense, like we've talked about, Patricia, just hand the sticks over to some 12-year-old to call plays because they are terrible. And the way that they lost that game to the Raiders was like an all-timer, unbelievably bad loss.
Yes.
I can't. What were they even thinking, man? Like that play's never even successful. Like I don't even understand what was happening.
For a second there, I thought they had some momentum. They got down to about the 20, and then it all fell apart. I don't even know who he was throwing it to. Was he trying to throw it back to Mac Jones?
Yes.
He thought Mac Jones was gonna run it?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he was trying to throw it back to Mac Jones. Even if he completes that pass to him, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. Chandler Jones just jumps on top of him like he basically did.
Yeah, that was a brutal stiff arm. Oh man. But the Bengals, man, they're just rolling, man. They just too hot. Down 17-0 to the Bucks. Come all the way back and win by like 17. I was just like, dude, this team is for real. Joe Burrow, oh goodness, he's getting into that MVP conversation. They're really looking good. I'm not picking against that. This is an interesting game to me as well. We got Vikings, Giants. Vikings 3.5-point favorites at home.
Mm-hmm.
Nick on his lonely island picking the Vikings.
Yes.
Tell me why.
See, I almost picked the Giants on this one too because it's like the one above this. That 3.5 is just very, very tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's not prime time, so Kirk Cousins gets it done.
Fair. It is true. It is not prime time. Billings, why do you disagree?
Half point. That's why. And the Vikings team, like we saw what they've been doing the last few weeks, so
Yeah.
hard to have much faith in them. So I think if they do win, it's only by a field goal.
Giants are winning this game. I'll put that out there right now. That Vikings team, man, they're just playing with fire, surviving these like wild comebacks and games. To be honest, I think Brian Dable should probably be coach of the year. That Giants team is not good. I do not know how they win games. They do not have good players. And I'm just like, they just like somehow find a way at the end of these games to win constantly.
I still can't name any receivers.
Slayton, man. Slayton. That's it. That's like the only one we've got. And I'm just like, they're not good. I don't know how they win games. It's mind blowing to me. But yes, I think the Giants go in there and upset the Vikings. That's my upset one for the week. Let's see what we got here. Bills, Bears. Bears at home, 8.5-point underdogs. Both of you guys picking the Bills. I'm on my lonely island picking. No, both of you guys picking the Bills. I'm on my lonely island picking the Bears.
Yep.
Too many points. My only reason, too many points. Why am I wrong?
Bills are rolling.
Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say.
They are.
And also, like, even without Von Miller, that pass rush is just going to be in Justin Fields' face all day.
Yeah.
Fair. I don't know. This felt like too many. Seems like a touchdown game. The only reason I took the Bears. Okay. I am sorry that I doubted Brock Purdy. I did not know that he was going to just dial in to this Shanahan scheme. The scheme lord was going to set him up, and he was just going to like become Jimmy G after not practicing all week and having like injured oblique and ribs and all this, pulling this crap out in Seattle. That one of those play calls, man. Double fake screen, tight end down the middle, wide open. Haven't seen that shit all season from anyone. Unbelievable play call. 7.5-point favorites at home against the Commanders. Billings picking the Commanders. Tell us why you're on this lonely island.
It's like all these games this week, that half point. Can't be trusting that.
What? That's the only reason, that half point.
Yes, that half point.
Nick, why do you disagree?
I mean, this Niners team's rolling right now. It's Purdy's getting more and more experience in the system, because this system it doesn't matter what position you play. It just produces.
Yep.
Because I know Kyle Shanahan is a genius.
That Christian McCaffrey freaking trade. My goodness. Seems like trade of the season so far. Setting them up. That defense is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Chris, that Broncos pick's going to be definitely late 20s, if not 30s.
That's what it's looking like. Definitely what it's looking like. But I don't care if it's 7.5. Commanders are going to have trouble moving the ball. Like, the Niners had extra days of rest. Commanders are going cross country. I don't like it. Doesn't look like it's going to be good for the Commanders. I think they kind of lost their season against the Giants on Sunday. That was pretty bad. All right. My Cowboys, 6-point favorites now, as Nick was alluding to earlier, against the Eagles, starting Gardner Minshew. Chris is the only one picking the Eagles. Tell us why.
Eagles are going to win this game. That's my upset of the week.
Go ahead and tell us why.
I've kind of said it last week that Jalen Hurts is a bit of a system quarterback, and it's going to prove out this week that this team's rolling with or without him.
Why do you disagree, Nick?
I think because Jalen Hurts is out is the reason why the Cowboys win this game. and it'll probably be by a touchdown because I don't see Gardner Minshew beating this Cowboys defense, even though a Jacksonville quarterback did last week.
Fair, fair. I gotta go with the Cowboys in this one because I don't think that they can change their whole offense. Like, I know Gardner Minshew's not going to run 10 to 12 times or 20 times for like 100 yards. Maybe he runs like 4 times.
Yeah.
And so that means he's just going to try and beat them from the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a formula for success for the Eagles. Maybe they keep it close, maybe they cover, but I don't know. Maybe a couple weeks for the Gardner Minshew success to happen because it's going to take some time to adjust to him.
I mean, they do run the ball a lot,
but they have the run game, lots of
but
bootlegs.
It's the threat of Jalen Hurts running that opens up those other running lanes.
Put Gardner Minshew in as many bootlegs as you want. Like, he's not outrunning anyone on the Cowboys defense. Like, that's like the thing. Like, he's not.
They might as well start running Wildcat style.
They have good receivers. They do have good receivers, so maybe they open up the passing game more. Cowboys defense is wounded, but I just don't see it.
Like, he might get sacked a lot in this game, but they're gonna be efficient and they're gonna win because the run game, just old school football in the trenches, baby.
When the Cowboys choked and lost to the Packers earlier this year, their very next game was the Vikings game. The Cowboys lost to the Bucks the first game of the year. The next game they beat the Bengals with Cooper Rush. So, I mean, this is the roller coaster that it goes on. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys blew out the Eagles and everyone is just like, oh, and then it's like a lose-lose. No one's really going to be impressed with that. They're going to be like, oh, well, Minshew is in. You didn't have to play Jalen Hurts. And we'll have to wait for like a playoff rematch if it happens. So we'll see what happens. That's what I know about this team, the ups and downs. That's what they do. Moving forward here. That's what he's calling. He's calling it. He also picked the Vikings in that game too. How'd that one work?
Close.
It was close, huh? It was close. Raiders and Steelers. Steelers 3-point favorites at home. I'm on my lonely island picking the Steelers. I gotta hear this. Tell me why you guys are picking the Raiders. Either one of you first.
I mean, whoever's at quarterback for the Steelers is just going to throw interceptions.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that gives Derek Carr and Devontae Adams a chance.
Okay.
And they've been in all these. Their last what? I believe I said that the Raiders are going to go like they're going to fuck around and go like 9-8 and miss the playoffs. So I'm going to stick with that.
Fair assessment. Chris, why are you backing the Raiders here?
Raiders have been trending upward. I think just having like the victory that they had last week is just going to improve the morale even more on that team and solidify just the camaraderie in that locker room, camaraderie they probably have with Josh McDaniels at this point. So yeah, like I think they're going to go into Pittsburgh and they're going to win against just a not very good Steelers team. Then again, Tomlin's been doing what Tomlin does all season.
Yep.
Home underdog. It's going to be cold, like you said, for Cleveland. Pittsburgh is going to be cold too. Derek Carr out there in the cold. I don't like that. I'm going to take that Steelers defense and the 3 points at home. I think they take care of that one. Here we go. We got the Christmas games.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. 5.5-point underdog at Nick's Dolphins. I'm the only one picking the Packers. Felt like too many points. I feel like it's a field goal game. Why am I wrong, Nick?
I think that the Dolphins, they're on this current 3-game losing streak. They just went on that 3-game trip. I think being back at home with the way and build on the way they played against the Bills last week. If we see this same offense, I don't think that there's anything the Packers are going to be able to do to keep up.
Okay.
I do feel like this will be probably a 2-score game.
Dang. Okay. Chris, feel the same way?
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Miami a place where Aaron Rodgers generally struggles playing?
He's not good in
Nick,
Florida.
like yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think this is a game where the Dolphins pass rush finally needs to turn it on and prove what they're able to do. And so I think they're ultimately the difference in this game for the Dolphins.
And I believe they do, and they have since Bradley Chubb, since the Bradley Chubb game, Bradley Chubb trade. Because before the 8 games before Chubb came over, I believe the Dolphins only had like 15 sacks, and in the 6 games since, they're up to 20. He has taken on a lot more of that pass blocking and has allowed Jalen Phillips to get home a little bit more.
Yeah, he looked real good in that Bills game. I would agree with you. Jalen Phillips looks like he is breaking out. It was a great move to.
And it should have been one more.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. All right. Chris's Broncos against the Rams. 2-point favorites on the road. We're all in agreement on the Broncos here. Why are we all in agreement here? I'll let Chris start.
I think that our defense is ultimately going to feast on Baker in this game.
Yes.
And without Aaron Donald to really have any presence, whether it's Brett Rippon or Russell Wilson to have that presence in the middle, they're just going to do what they did to the Cards last week and just run with 3 different backs.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Rams are bad, dude. They are so bad. They're bad.
It's funny because we all didn't all 3 of us pick the Broncos before we even knew what the line was.
Yep.
Didn't even matter.
Yep. Didn't matter. Like I knew it was gonna be close. I knew it was gonna be probably within a field goal, like less than a field goal. But yeah, like just Baker's gonna have a rough Christmas. He's gonna have.
What's the over under on this game?
I don't know. I could look it up. Probably around like 38. 38.
Okay, it's over that 32 from above.
Yeah. 32 from Saints Browns.
Yeah, Saints Browns. I couldn't even remember which game it was.
And I would bet that under.
I'm tempted to as well. That definitely feels like a 13-10 game or something like that.
I mean, 38 points. The Broncos don't give up 20, and they don't score 20, so that should be a sure bet.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Sound logic by the accountant.
That's right.
Sounds like a 1919 push to me.
Yeah.
My goodness, look at these crappy primetime games they give us. Christmas, Sunday Night Football, the Bucks against the Cardinals. Bucks, 6-point road favorites. Both of you guys picking the Bucks.
I'm interested to hear why you think the Cardinals are going to win this game or cover this game.
The Cardinals are starting Trace McSorley at quarterback.
That sounds like a video game name.
Hey, I think Billings over there is talking about WNBA players. Trace McSorley might be a WNBA player with Skylar Thompson. I do not know.
Trace McSorley is definitely a dude that wrestled in WCW in the 90s.
Fair. I'll tell you why right now, Nick. The Bucks are not good. That team sucks. Yeah. I have bet that Bucks team like 4 weeks in a row, and they have lost all 4 of those weeks. They're terrible. They're not good. Like this whole like Tom Brady thing is like confusing. It's confusing to bettors. It confused me. I'm just like, I looked last week. I was like 17-0 Bengals got this. That 3.5-point hook. Look again, like they're losing. How are they losing this game? What is happening? That Bucks team is terrible. They can't stop anyone. They can't run the ball. They're bad. They can't even deal with media in their own locker room. I saw that whole Gio Bernard situation, and I was just like, what is happening here? What is going on? But no, that Bucks team, They're horrible. Horrible. I can't pick that team anymore. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the points. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals won that game outright. Bucks are bad. Why am I wrong?
When they said not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse, like they're talking about people watching this game, man. I'm like,
I think the only reason this didn't get flexed out is because they think everybody wants to see Tom Brady Christmas night.
Yeah.
Well, then honestly, like, wouldn't they have to flex it out with a Sunday game?
Yeah, I mean,
and yeah, like no
the
way.
Dolphins
like,
are only team over 500 right now.
Well, like no way. Like most likely, what is it gonna be on Fox or CBS?
Yeah,
they're not giving away that game.
No.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, like Bucks team bad, Cardinals team worse. The only bigger loser is, like I said, whoever watches this game. Because as I think, well, no, it probably has zero implication on anything. Because
Yes.
Bucks will probably win that division regardless.
Yeah.
Sadly. Looking
I
at
will
you,
most
Panthers.
likely be drunk and passed out by now.
Fair.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna either be passed out from food or alcohol.
Yeah, definitely from alcohol.
Yeah.
I'll start tailgating at 10 a.m. that morning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he'll be long gone.
I'll be lucky if I see the end of your game.
All right. Speaking about games you need to be drunk or passed out for. We got a Monday Night Football game here. Jeff Saturday's Colts. 4-point underdogs against the Chargers. Chris on his lonely island picking that Chargers team. Let us know why.
No, let me know why you guys are picking the Colts. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone episode. Like, did you guys not watch last weekend?
I think the Chargers still win this game, but they only win it by a field goal.
Oh, come on.
Hey, you had a couple half-point picks. This is a full-point pick for me.
That Colts
I think this is going to be a field goal game. I think this game goes to overtime.
Like Matt Ryan, his psyche is shattered. Jeff Saturday knows that he's going back to broadcasting. Everybody on that team's like, oh, well, we got paid, so fuck it. Like, we ain't playing.
But isn't this the game that Nick Foles is playing?
Yes, sir. Nick Foles is going to be the QB for the Colts in this game.
Yeah, it's not Matt Ryan.
That's true. Well, because his brain is broken.
It's not like it really changes too much.
It doesn't change anything. Yeah. One team's
field goal game.
One team's trending up. One team's definitely trending down after last week.
I agree with Nick. This Chargers team still wins. This is a field goal game. That Chargers team, no, they're not. I mean, they're not good. They're not good either. They just hang around and Justin Herbert bails them out of shitty situations sometimes. They're not good. He made a ridiculous throw to beat the Titans. Ridiculous throw. Like they're just an okay team. And the Colts, after that dumpster fire performance, they're gonna come out and play better.
I don't know that.
They're not blowing a 33 lead. I guarantee that.
They got Nick Foles starting. They got no Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. So it'll be much more competitive game. I hope. Been a lot of primetime duds this season. As Nick said, we need to figure out a way to flex out Monday games because this slate that ESPN has gotten this year has been bad. Bad.
Horrible.
Go watch Die Hard instead.
Yeah. Any Christmas movie and you'll be much more satisfied. This game is going to be for junkies, addicts, and bettors. Fantasy football diehards.
So Tony will be watching.
I will. I'll have to tune in, check it out. Why did I bet on Jeff Saturday? Definitely some yelling at the TV. And
I think there'll be. I think you're on to something. I think there might be some more fantasy football implications in this than anything. It's only the thing that's going to keep the viewership up.
That's true. What is it? Fantasy championships this week?
Yep.
I think it may have started. Yeah.
fantasy football playoffs, fantasy
Yes.
championships. That's it.
Thanks for watching the Sports Budz. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the Sports Budz. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.